Dobry dzień, witajmy or welcome. My name is Sofia Lukie. Moja imię jest Sofia Lukie. And today I'm going to be taking you through a Ukrainian kids art workshop featuring Ukrainian food. Delicious. So we are going to be going through two Ukrainian foods today. We're going to be going through cabbage rolls and pierogis because you are never too young to start practicing your pinching. All right, що нам потрібно? What do we need for this craft? So we are going to need the number one ingredient, Model Magic, or Play-Doh, or air-dried clay works as well. You might need your chef's apron or some paint clothes. You're going to need a paintbrush, a paint palette, and some paint. We're going to be using acrylic today. You're also going to need a rolling pin, or in my case, sauce, and a szklanka, or glass. So we're going to start with the pierogis, or pierogi, or in Ukraine they call them vareniki. So this is what an uncooked, or unbaked, or unfried pierogi or pierogis look like. And then when you fry them, they become Ukrainian goodness dumpling heaven. So we are going to make our very own. We're going to start with our Model Magic. And what is in our dough? This is our dough. So our pierogis, we're creating them. We have made our dough and now we're kneading it a little bit. So in our dough we have muka or flour. We have water or voda. We have eggs or yaitsi. And you can often put other things in, but we're going to keep it simple today. So we are kneading our dough, working it, making sure that we can do everything that we want to with it. And now we're going to take our rolling pin and we're going to flatten it. Now that we have flattened our dough, we are going to take our szklanka or our glass and we're going to make the perfect pierogi circle. Now that we have our perfect pierogi circle, we need to fill it. We need to put our stuffing into our pierogi. So our stuffing traditionally is made out of kartopia or potatoes and sometimes syr or cheese. But you could also put in cherries or Saskatoon berries or jalapenos if you want to be crazy. So we are making our stuffing now. We don't want it to be too thick. We want it to be just enough. So we are maybe putting in syr, cheese for sure, and kartopia or potatoes, definitely. So now I'm just rolling that up and putting our stuffing in, making sure it's the right size. We don't want it to be too big and we don't want it to be too small. And then we are going to place that in our pierogi or pierogi. And we are going to fold our pierogi over. All right, now that our stuffing is in our pierogi, we have to make sure that our stuffing doesn't fall out. So how are we going to do that? We're going to pinch away. So now we have our pierogi. We are going to set that aside and we are going to let that air dry so that we can later paint it. We're going to get started on our cholipsi or our cabbage roll. And just for something different, we are going to be using our air dry clay for this one. So just like our pierogi, we are going to flatten this out using our rolling pin. But instead of becoming dough, it's going to become a cabbage leaf. And because we're experts in the Ukrainian kitchen, we're going to be using summer cabbage. So using our rolling pin, we are going to roll that out. All right, now that we have made a flat cabbage leaf, we want to make it look like a cabbage roll. So if you see here, the cabbages are sort of like lettuce. So we want to make sure that they have the sort of veins like a leaf. So with the end of our paintbrush, we are going to use the end of our paintbrush to trace in some veins, just so that we can get some texture. And texture is how something feels. So we don't want it to be entirely smooth. Now that we have our textured leaf, just like that, we are gonna flip it upside down. Flip it upside down like a pancake. And we are gonna put our stuffing into our cabbage roll. And for cabbage rolls, we put in rej or rice, and sometimes onions and pepper, and sometimes peppers. We're gonna do basically the same thing with our pierogi, except we're gonna not put it in the center, we're gonna put it right at the end. So I'm doing the same thing, I'm rolling a little bit, and instead of making a complete circle, I'm gonna make a little bit of a cylinder. So you can imagine when you're using rice, it can kind of go everywhere. So you want to make sure that it's compact. Then we're going to roll away. And just like our pierogies, we don't want our stuffing to fall out, so we're going to pinch the sides in. Now that we've pinched the sides in, we are going to also set that aside. We're going to let that dry. Okay, now that we have let our holopsi or our cabbage rolls dry and also our pierogies dry, it is time to get painting. So we are going to take one of our cabbage rolls and we're going to study this photo. Okay, so if we look at this photo, what color do you see? You see kind of yellow and maybe a little bit of red. So that's exactly what we are going to do. We're going to do yellow and then a little bit of red on the sides. All right, so you're going to need some water at this point, and you're going to need your paintbrush, and then of course you are going to need your paint. So we said czerwone or red. We said żółte or yellow. Kind of looks like mustard and ketchup. And then we might even do some, like a light brown. All right. So I'm just gonna show you that photo again. So that's what we're gonna make. All right. So now you can start painting. Done painting our cabbage roll, I would say that is pretty darn close. Not bad. Now it's time to paint our pierogi. So that's the color of a pierogi. Kind of boring. So I thought, just to be wild and crazy, we could paint our pierogi something crazy. Maybe even rainbow. Or what's your favorite color? Is it purple or purpurowe? Is it light blue or sine? We can make the craziest pierogi you've ever seen. So let's get painting. craziest pierogi you ever did see. And if you want, you can let this dry and you can even add a little face or a smiley face on your pierogi. Another thing you can do is stick a hole through it and put a string through it and make a Christmas decoration for next year. Or even for Valentine's Day, you could make it pink or red. There's lots of stuff you can do with your crazy colored pierogi. Well, thank you so much for watching today and for taking part in this fun with Ukrainian food. I hope you learned a couple of things, maybe some Ukrainian words. Be sure to check out Deep Freeze Fest. It is on until the 14th of February 2021. Make sure you check out Arts on the Ave at the website, artsontheave.org, or you can take a look at their Instagram or their YouTube. I am Sofia Lukie, and I so appreciate you watching.